What we have here is question 2. When the angle of elevation of the sun is 15 degrees, an upright flagpole casts a shadow of length 18. Calculate the height of the pole. Which side is the height of the pole? It will be the opposite. So we want to calculate this length here. Let's call it x. Now, who called it the opposite? How do you know it's the opposite? Directly across from the angle. Opposite. What other side do we know? Adjacent is 18. Opposite and adjacent. We're using SOHCAHTOA. Which one should we use? Sine, cos, or tan? Tan. So tan what? Tan what number? Tan 15, because it's always the angle that becomes besides sine, cos, or tan, equals what? O over A. X over 18. Bring the 18 up, and you're going to get 18 tan 15 equals X. Please make sure your calculator says D on the top. D for degrees. 18 tan 15. And long behold, the answer is 4.82. Correct to one decimal place? 4.8. It's 4.8 meters tall, guys. Easy enough question, right? Now, moving on. Question 6. A person stands at the window of a building so that her eyes are 20 meters above level ground in the vicinity of the building. An object is 100 meters away from the building on a line directly beneath the person. Compute the angle of depression at the person's line of sight of the object to the ground, correct in one decimal place. It wants you to find out what this is here. Now, is everybody paying attention? I'm going to make a triangle out of this. Look at this. Here's how I'm going to make the triangle. I'm going to go across like this, down like that, and up like this. Do you see that triangle I just made? That triangle I just made has the following parts to it, okay? Nope. The same as the other one. So, it's 20 meters down and 100 meters wide. And if I do what Ryan says, if I was to, excuse me, G, that's not meant to be there. If I was to do something like this, same thing again. Appears to be something new that I am aware of. So I'll just group it this way. There we go. So if I was to turn that upside down, it fits directly into that one there. So you can see it's actually the same. It's the same triangle. Okay. Yeah, no, that's because I made the hypotenuse slightly short. Okay, good man. Now, what we're going to do next, guys, is relative to this angle here. What is the length of 20? Is it opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Opposite. What is the 100? The 100? Adjacent. SOHCAHTOA, which one are we going to use, Noah? We know the opposite, and we have the opposite and the adjacent. Why is it TOA? O and A. You have A and you have O. Okay, tan what, guys? Tan what? What angle goes beside the tan? What sign goes in there? The theta is what it's called. Equals? Okay. Now, you want to get the angle on its own. What's the special button that gets the angle on its own? Tan inverse. So in your calculator you put tan inverse 20 over 100. Shift tan inverse 20 divided by 100. And what do we get? 11.3 degrees. Are you happy with that? 11.3 degrees. Okay. Question 7. We have a vertical mast. Okay. And we have lengths. This is 15. X to Z is 15, that's X to Z. X to W is 12, which is here to here. W to Y is 40. Calculate ZW. How do you do this? Calculate ZW. Break it up into, 1 second, just ignore this part for a second. Break it up into individual parts. So an example would be, break it up like this. So what we're going to have here is just that triangle on its own. Okay? And this triangle on its own, can anybody tell me? 15 and 12, and we need to find out what X is. Anybody suggest a way of doing that? No, it's not sine, cos, or TOA. It's not. Yeah. Pythagoras' theorem, guys. The longest side squared equals the opposite, the smaller side squared and added together. So what ones are squared and added together? Equals. Okay. 225 equals 144 plus x squared. Bring the 144 to the other side and take it away. What you get? 81. 81 equals x squared. What number, when you multiply it by itself, will give you 81? Yep, 9. You use the square root button to find that out, and you get 9. So what does that mean? 9 meters high. Exactly. ZW equals 9. Find the angle WYZ. WYZ is this one here. Let's call it angle X, okay? A new value for X. What did we say ZW was? 9. Okay, so here's how you do this one. Do you know the way in all our previous questions, all what we ever dealt with was with one triangle, wasn't it? And do you know the way we currently have roughly 3 triangles there? Huh? What we have here, guys, is we had the first answer is part 9. Okay, and then we said we're going to call this angle X, and we're going to figure out what angle X is. Now, if you look at this part here on its own, okay, so the triangle to the left on its own. Oh, you just didn't do that. Okay, so if you look at this part on its own, what you have here is 9 and 40. What two sides are the 9 and the 40 relative to the X? What is the 9 and 40 relative to the X? Yeah. Okay, and what function should you use? Sine, cos, or tan? Alright, tan what? It's always the angle. Equals? 40. Now, in any question where they look for the angle, see the way it's asking you for the angle, that's the angle sign, WYZ. The angle WYZ means W goes to Y, Y goes to Z. It's this angle in here that we're looking for. Okay? So therefore, in any question that's looking for the angle, always ends with tan minus 1, sine minus 1, or cos minus 1. Has to end in tan inverse, cos inverse, or sine inverse now, yeah? Has to end in one of them. So which one is it going to end in? Tan inverse, cos inverse, or sine inverse? Tan inverse. X equals tan inverse 9 over 40. And what's tan inverse 9 over 40? Nine over 40, Charlie? 12.68. Is it one decimal place or what it's looking for? 2 decimal places. 12.680. So 12.68. Okay, that one's done now. Okay, what's the next question you want me to do? What is the total length of the wire used to support the aerial mast? Now, let's colour in what are the wires. X, Y, and Y, Z are the supporting cables. So here's the supporting cables here, guys. I'll highlight them now for you. in green. That's a cable, and that's a cable. Does everybody see the two green cables? Now, I know the first one's 15. How do I find out what the second one is? What is Z to Y? Let's call it letter. Let's call it the letter M. What type of what can we use to solve that? Yes. Exactly. Pythagoras' theorem. What Keen suggested was that we get the longest side squared equals the two shorter sides squared and added together. What's the longest side squared in this triangle here? The triangle to the right? This triangle here. Yeah. Sorry? M is the longest one by eyesight. 40 squared and M squared equals 40 squared plus 9 squared. 40 squared plus 9 squared, and what you get? 1681. What number, when you multiply it by itself, gives you 1681? What button will do that? Who said 41? Well done, Barry. M equals 41. So this one is 41 meters long. So what is the total length of the two green wires now? 15 plus, which is 56 meters. Okay, good man. Now, go and do next. A minute. Okay, so guys, what we're going to do here is we're going to do basically we're looking to find out what the green line is. What is the length of the diagonal bar? Diagonal bar being located here. We know that the diagonal bar is the hypotenuse. The 1.6 is the adjacent. This here is the angle. We have, sorry, not the adjacent, the opposite. Excuse me. So we have opposite and hypotenuse. So ka to. Which one are we going to use, Noah? Opposite and hypotenuse. So sine 30 degrees is call it x. No, bring the x up. Nearly. Now, the x isn't on its own yet. What's stopping the x from being on its own? Yeah, it's been multiplied by sin 30, which means when sin 30 crosses the equal sign, it'll turn into 1.6 over sin 30. And then 1.6 divided by sin 30 gets us an answer of 3.2 meters. Okay? So you can see these questions getting reasonably easy. Now we're going to move on to question 11. Last one for me today anyway. So, question is, a girl is surfing the internet. What height are her eyes above the center of the screen? The center of the screen is located here. Her eye level is located here. I'm trying to find out this height here. What is it? Is it the opposite, the adjacent, or opposite? And what side do we know? The longest side in that triangle, which is the hypotenuse. The adjacent is the adjacent would be the green line. This line here is the adjacent. Okay. Now, SOHCAHTOA, which one are you going to use? We're looking to find the height of her eyes above the center of the screen. Hence this part here. Red dot is the height. Barry, what function are we going to use? Sine, cos, or tan? Sin. Sin what? Equals opposite side, which is over 10 minus the 40. 40 sine 28. Anybody? 18.77. How many decimal places? Doesn't say, does it? So let's go 18.78. Oh, one decimal place, here we are. 8, and no, 77 rounds up to 18.8. It's okay. X equals 18.8. Now, find the horizontal distance from our eyes to the center of the screen. This is what you're talking about, Charlie. The green one. What side is the green one? Adjacent. Now we can do this two ways. The first way we can do it is we can use ka. Everybody get ka? Noah, do you get ka? So cos what? Okay guys, so cos what, Noah? Huh? No, Aaron? Cos 28. It's always the angle. Adjacent, which is, we'll call the adjacent any letter you want. M. The adjacent will be M. And what's the hypotenuse? 40. Cross multiply. Which is 40 cos 28, anybody? $35.31, which rounds to 35.3. Goes down. Okay, guys. So,